This interview is with Emma Jeffers. She's a really great rider for the Jayco Alula development squad. She was doing really well at Mouscron, which is one of the races we reference. Although she crashed out towards the end. Yeah, she was in a really good position, and that only bodes well for the future. I think she's going to have a lot of top tens and wins in her future. And yeah, just listen and enjoy. Hi Emma, thank you so much for joining me today. How's everything going?
Good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. I want to say just that, are you on training camp or I don't think you're in Britain right now. From
I'm in Girona, just avoiding the UK weather.
I mean it. Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think it's sunny today.
yeah, but I still avoid it.
Yeah, I only say that because I think I saw Maya Line's Instagram story.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think that's not the UK. For a start, you were riding the wrong side. So, yeah, how's that going? As I say, being in Girona and not experiencing the UK.
Yeah, I mean, I've not been here too long now, just maybe 8 days, if that. But yeah, I really like it here, and I just like the riding. And yeah, you can always find people to train with, so it's good fun.
Yeah, that is actually true because I think some of the juniors, I say junior, Izzy Sharp and Kat Ferguson seem to be around there because they went to is it La Fabrica?
Yeah.
The sort of cycling cafe.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard plenty about in many different ways, but yeah, it seems like it is a real hotbed, especially with the Tour of Catalonia that's
Yeah.
just happened as well. But anyway, I'd rather talk about you, and apologies for that kind of little digression. Yeah, how did you get into cycling? Because I'm always fascinated by people's journeys in, and I have my assumptions, but I'd like to hear what your journey was like.
Yeah. So since I was like literally 3 or 4, my brother was a BMXer, so I
Hmm.
was always dragged down to the track to watch him. And as soon as I could ride a bike myself, I wanted to join in because yeah, it was boring watching. So I just started on the BMX, and yeah, did that for quite a long time. Then my brother actually moved over to road and tried getting me to ride a road bike, but I had no interest. It was way too long coming from BMX, which was like 30 seconds, to riding like over 2 hours. I was like, no, don't know why people do that. And then yeah, just being at Manchester BMX track, obviously the velodrome is there and stuff. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll try the velodrome, and I actually really enjoyed it. But yeah, still no interest in the road really that much. And then kind of during lockdown, I couldn't go to BMX. So I just started riding my road bike more. Yeah, fell in love with it and never gone back.
That's kind of crazy in some ways that yeah, you went from the 30-second events to what, pursuits and scratch races where it's a bit
Yeah,
longer, but not you can't ride for hours on the velodrome, you'd expire. To then, yeah, slowly building it up. And it's kind of, I think it's crazy to me as well that you got into road a lot more during lockdown because
yeah,
obviously it makes sense, but when you look at your results, I'm like, how did this person start road 2 years ago? Or,
yeah.
relative to those results when you get banging out firsts at Tour Series and the Crit Series, when even on junior gearing as well. So yeah, what's that like to win those rounds, but also do you go into it and go, oh, I'm on junior gearing racing adults, like this is going to be harder, or do you just not bother thinking about it?
I mean, like, yeah, the first tour series I did, I literally got the opportunity to ride with Jaden pretty last minute. I took it. I was like, these races are going to be hard. No one expects anything from me. And I think that was like the main thing. Like, there was no pressure. I was a junior. They're like, yeah, just stick in as long as you could. And then when I was like, I think I got third at my first tour series, and
Hmm.
they were like, yeah, okay, maybe you can like not almost put pressure on it, but just like, yeah, enjoy these races and not think about too much about, yeah, how to race it and stuff. But yeah, the junior gears, like people always bring it up, but for me, it's just like a different way of racing. You just got to be smart and like, yeah, you can't go for a long sprint on junior gears because you'll just run out of gears. So yeah, it was just learning how to race differently, I guess.
Hmm.
No, I think it was a good thing to experience being on junior gears still. Like not many people know that, and like now I see they've got rid of junior gears, but actually I think it was a good thing for my learning process to have the junior gears in these races. Yeah,
Hmm.
I think it was a good thing.
Yeah, I think it is interesting because, like, I'm led to believe that some former pros, when they were juniors, tried to exploit the system a little, and like they had spare back wheels, and you hear of people who have their cogs set up a different way so that actually a really higher gear is somewhere buried in the middle. I don't know how that works, but you know, where they have it like, so when you have it maxed out on the end of the cassette, it is junior gearing, but if you go 2 clicks down, it's actually higher.
Yeah,
Um, just to get round it because some people really dislike it, but it's kind
yeah,
of, I get why it's a good thing as well. I think it's great, and it's to encourage kind of spinning and not the sort of Tony Martin-esque,
yeah.
like churning out a massive gear and wrecking your knees before you're 40. Um, so, swings and roundabouts. Do you want to win as a 17-year-old, or do you want to walk when you're older? You know?
I also showed that you can still do it on junior gears and stuff, so
Yeah, exactly.
both ways.
Yeah, because I think from your results you won Stranraer and Manchester.
Yeah.
Um, I presume winning Manchester round was especially good for you. Was that one you targeted when you started to pick up results and go, actually, I'm all right here, like I can compete, and then
Yeah.
do you go, oh, I really want to win Manchester now?
Obviously, like, yeah, when at the start I'd like no thought of doing like getting a result in any of them. But then when I started did, I was like, yeah, Manchester was obviously home crowd. A lot of my friends and family was there, so yeah. But also the course wasn't like one that particularly suited me that well. So I was like,
Okay.
also went into it not expecting too much and just kind of seeing how it goes. But then yeah, ended up going pretty good.
Yeah, and then you won the first stage of Manx International. Um, so a little bit of time in the leaders jersey as well, I assume. Um, and then was it Newark you won? Which again, that's the only race I think I saw that year in person. Or did I? Oh no, I saw the Tour of Britain when I had to finish it early. Um, so yeah, I saw you there, and actually I think I walked past you at one point. I think you were on the way to a fish and chip shop because everyone does that after Newark. I did notice you're remarkably tall. Um,
Yeah.
like, do you think that helps for sprinting because you've got like longer legs, therefore more leverage?
Yeah, I don't really know. Like a lot of people say I don't really look like a sprinter because yeah, I have just really long, skinny legs, but
Well,
I mean
yeah,
some
it's kind of
way, so
yeah. I don't like commenting on people's appearance, but like, yeah, you are tall but quite slight. And like sprinters, you think if they're tall, they're like Tom Bonen-esque, like, or Andre Greipel, where they're like huge behemoths of people,
yeah.
and you're kind of just tall and slight and not that at all. Um, I mean, if it works, it works.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you see yourself actually as a sprinter? I know you said not, people don't look at you and think of you as a sprinter, but is that the rider type you're aspiring to be, or are you trying like, yeah, how are you fitting it to yourself?
Yeah, so I mean, I'd say I'm pretty sprinty.
Hmm.
All the races that my results have come from is a sprint, but like, yeah, now I'm stepping up to a complete different level, and I'm kind of just learning more of myself. Like
Mm.
even in the UK and stuff when I've been racing, I always thought I was quite a short sprinter, just because like learning from coming from junior gears, I always had to go short because yeah, I'd run out of gears super quick. But now, yeah, longer sprints are coming in, and I'm like doing better in them. So yeah, I'm also still kind of learning what kind of rider I am, I think.
Hmm.
But yeah, definitely punchy.
Yeah, yeah. I think also just British races kind of suit that in a way.
Hmm.
Like everything's all those short, sharp climbs. You don't get many mountain passes in the UK,
Yeah,
so you end up if if you make it to pro, you tend to be a bit. Although you're a sprinter, you can still be a bit of an all-rounder and get over those punchy climbs. Um, and it's just heavy roads around here anyway. Like it's always super grippy. I don't know why. Um, but yeah, I was actually going to ask because I've recently had Tyler Hannay on, and he mentioned how he came from BMXing as well, and how like Ethan Vernon's another one, and then going way back to when I was young, like you heard about Jamie Staff coming from the track sprinter, but he was a BMXer first, and he was
yeah,
like the lead rider in team sprint. Um, do you think that for you that BMXing has helped your sprinting because of that? That it's just an initial flurry of effort, and then it's kind of the rest is maintenance of speed rather than adding speed almost.
yeah. I mean, of course, like BMX is just like punchy from the gate. So yeah, you get that explosiveness, I think, coming from it for
Yeah,
sure.
that's cool. Um, and yeah, like you mentioned that you've made the step up. You're now in the Alula development squad. I guess firstly, how are you finding that step up? Because obviously that's only happened this year, so it's March as we're speaking. Yeah, you've had a couple of months, but not huge, I guess.
Yeah, I've had a few races now, kind of just finding my feet. Yeah, I mean the races are really hard, so it's just I think it's going to take a few races to find yeah how to race the different races and yeah. But I mean the team, I'm really enjoying it, and they're super good and supportive. So I think there's good things to come together.
Yeah, and how did that move all come about? Because obviously you with was it Jaden? I feel like you were with JRC Interflon before then, or
Yeah,
kind of.
I was with Jersey as a junior. Only did the tour series with Jaden, and then last year I was with Das Hansling.
Yes. So yeah, like how did the move come about to go from Das Huntling to Jaco Alula? I assume, well, were they the only team interested? Were there other teams? Like, yeah, just how does that process? Because I'm fascinated by kind of, I guess, for someone who likes watching races, I love the admin side of cycling. Just how contracts come about. Like, great, tell me more.
Yeah, I don't really know. I work with SEG, the agent company. So
Mm,
yeah, I spoke to quite a few teams over the past 2 years. Um, but yeah, I kind of heard from Jaco last winter, kind of like just interested in my numbers and stuff. But they kind of just said like there's something coming up in the next year, which was obviously
mm.
the development team. So yeah, I just spoke to them a few times, and yeah, I don't really know. Just they're interested, and then you go on a few calls and stuff, and yeah.
Yeah, I guess what was it about the offer that made you sign with them versus, maybe a another company, a another team. Sorry,
That is
I
good.
work in corporate stuff, so I'm so used to talking about companies it messes with my head. I apologize.
Very good. I just really like the setup, and yeah, it's super good that they work so closely with their World Tour team.
Hmm.
It's like literally everything is mirrored. And yeah, also we get the World Tour riders to come into our race every now and then maybe like swap that we get to ride with them a few times. But yeah, the it's just like going to a team that's separate from a World Tour team, then
Hmm.
you've got that jump up again. But now I kind of get the middle ground and get to experience a bit of both. So yeah, I think it was the right move for my development and learning. Yeah.
Definitely, it sounds great. And like, is there anyone that you've kind of met through this team that you're like, oh yeah, you're like my kind of ride or die friend? Um, whether that's from the World Tour or just the development squad.
I mean, all of us get on pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. It was still all getting to know each other, and we've only done like maybe 4 or 5 races together. But
Mm.
again, I'm well with all the girls, so it's nice.
Oh, awesome. I guess yeah, what we kind of raced through this, which is in I guess your sprinting style has rubbed off on me a little. Like, what's the plans for the rest of the season? Like, do you have like a super detailed, you know, development plan of like, oh, we're going to race you here to learn about this, here to do this, or is it just here's your races, crack on, kind of vibe?
Yeah, kind of. I've got most of my races. But it's also just taking it like race by race. Like
Mm.
yeah, it's like most of us, it's a big step up. So yeah, we're all learning each race. So yeah, for now it's just trying to be up there in the front, and then maybe once we all get comfortable in being at the front, then it'll be like try do something in the end, or like different things. So for now it's just get experience and keep learning.
Oh, nice. And which races have you got coming up then? Or I guess what's your next race if you're taking it race by race?
Yeah, my next race is Moscow in Belgium.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, and then Shelter Priest.
Oh,
So that's
that
that one.
yeah, that one will be very interesting. Um, yeah, I do like watching that. That's kind of it's weird that it's so. I guess like the UCI don't have it high on the rankings, but like in terms of prestige, it's one of the highest races there are. Like
Yeah.
especially as a sprinter, it's like the unofficial world championships.
Yeah.
Um, how are you feeling about that? Because yeah, I assume it's your first time racing it. Um,
I mean, I'm excited. Like, I'm pretty excited for every race. Like, yeah, it's pretty cool to be racing some of these bigger races. But yeah, again, just go into it and see how it goes. But yeah, we'll see.
yeah, definitely. And I guess obviously we're not there yet, but when you get to the end of this season and you look back, like how do you conceptualize success for you? Like, yeah, what is it for you to be successful, and how will you know at the end of a season that you have been?
um, yeah, definitely getting top tens in these races and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, a few podiums in UCI races for sure. I'm looking for like towards the end of the year, hopefully. Um, but yeah, also as a team, just like learning to ride together. Um, for me personally, like the lead out train and stuff, like I've never really had that. So being able to work with a team that we can actually like execute that well and stuff. Like yeah, as a team that is our goals. And yeah, just learning how to help other riders and stuff. Like yeah, mountain stages to get other riders up there. Like I've never really had that. So to just have
Oh
the
gosh, yeah.
like yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I could imagine that's quite tricky if you're not used to it. Like, I guess if you've never done like huge mountain stages and you've got to do one, and you're like, oh, this is going to be a bit of a struggle day.
Yeah.
Sweet.
But it's like your roles come in so different. Like in the UK, you don't have that many big climbs to be like, okay, I've got to get you here at this point, else your race is over, kind of thing. So like,
Hmm.
yeah, the going into races is like a way different headspace to racing in the UK. So yeah, it's only things to learn, but it'll be good.
Do you think that helps though, like having such a targeted focus of like, oh, at 15 to go, you need to drop our this rider off here, and then day done? Or
Yeah, I think for me, it's I like that kind of thing. I like having the job and like knowing what you have to get out of that race because it like gives you something to focus on and stuff. Um,
hmm.
yeah, and it's like even though like I don't know when you're younger, every race is just you want to win the end result, but actually now it's stepping back and like you winning the race might be getting your teammate to the front for the climb or like stuff like that. It's like you have different wins, so I'm excited to feel the the pleasure of actually doing something for my teammates and seeing them succeed as well.
Yeah, definitely. I guess yeah, kind of like bit of a, well, it's not left field, but it's not one I often ask. Is like, is there any rider you kind of model yourself on, or like you look up to, or are you just trying to be like? Because like in every sport, there's always, oh, this person's the next like LeBron James or whatever. Is there someone you're trying to be like, or are you just trying to be the next Emma Jeffers, essentially?
Yeah, I mean, of course you always have people to look up to, but yeah, I mean, you want to make your own name and stuff, so I guess just make my own path. And yeah, I think I'm a pretty unique rider coming,
Hmm.
like, I don't know, like, yeah, there's not that many women like where I come from, so yeah, I'll just make my own name and see where it goes.
Oh, awesome. So yeah, all that's left is really like, how can people follow like your goings on social media, whether that's via the team or via, your own personal accounts, depending on what you feel comfortable sharing here.
Yeah, I mean, the team account is the Green Edge Development Team.
Hmm.
And my name is just Emma Jeffers on Instagram, so definitely follow me and yeah, see some me posting a lot when I'm in Girona and traveling around a lot. So yeah,
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you so much, and yeah, I hope the rest of your season goes well.
thanks.
Well, there you go. Huge thanks to Emma for giving me some of her time, but also to the Jaco Alula media team. They really helped out getting this sorted. So thank you, Rick, for your work, and yeah, thank you, listener, for actually spending the time listening to me and Emma chat. Bit of a short one than usual, but I think sometimes you just don't need long. So I hope you enjoy, and we'll see you next time.